The Thanksgiving DFS slate is unlike anything we will face all year. You're talking about a slate where you could play your defense against the stack, where you could fade a game entirely, or you could go the complete opposite direction and game stack one so heavily that your entire lineup is filled with almost entirely just those two teams. In short, everything is on the table. You're watching the Perfect Lineup Thanksgiving Day edition. 3 games, 3 lineups right here. You know the drill. I'll lay the groundwork, the foundation, the core of the lineup, send it over to Josh, let him run it through the single lineup sims, and see if the tools tell us we did a good job or not. And then we go back to the drawing board. As always, if you guys are interested in getting in on the action, grab a free month. We're going month this time. It is Thanksgiving. I'm not going to do you guys dirty like that. A full month of the Sims Max for NFL. Leave a comment down below with who you think has the most overall DraftKings points on the slate. Could be any position. We're opening it wide open for this week. Highest DraftKings point score on these 3 games for Thanksgiving. And if you're right, a month of the Sims may just be headed your way. As always, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And if that hype option is available after you hit that thumbs up, goes a long way for us. Or at least I'm told. Let's get into the lineups. All right, first one, we got to go Joe Burrow here. He makes his triumphant return after going out in week 2. It's been a long time since he's been out. And honestly, I could see this being one of these games where they're down 28-3 at halftime and you think all of your Joe Burrow lineups are dead, but now he shook some of the rust off, and him and Jamar Chase and Mike Gesicki and Chase Brown all go nuts in the second half and try and make, mount some type of comeback effort. One way or the other, this game has a monster total. The Ravens on the other side have a slate high 29-point total, which means in all likelihood, even though Lamar Jackson hasn't played great since returning from injury, they're going to score some points. Cincinnati's going to need to score some points, and you should see more of a concentrated offense with T. Higgins out in concussion protocol. So we're going Joe Burrow here, but we're also plugging in Jamar Chase, Chase Brown, and Mike Gesicki. Now, when I say Thanksgiving slates, these 3-game slates are different. Everything is available. Everything's on the table, and nothing is, beyond the pale. Going with triple stacks makes a lot of sense. Hell, the Stokastic Sims user who won the Mega Millionaire last year on Thanksgiving Day, DCeep, had a Miami triple stack in that with a Jaden Reed run back. You can game stack. You can go 3 1s, with a triple stack and a single run back, double run back. Honestly, 3 3s aren't even that crazy when you have 2 games on this slate with a 51+ point total and the other one sitting at 49. So think about that when you're building lineups out this week. That's how I want to go with this one. More concentrated target share, no T. Higgins. Jamar Chase last year in 2 meetings against the Ravens had 457 yards and 5 touchdowns, which is just, stupid to think about. So yeah, you throw Derrick Henry in there, and that's a run back. But my guess is when Josh runs the Sims, you may see Andrews pop up. You may see Flowers pop up, and we get a full-out game stack running this on 15% randomness.
It's kind of fun to get into the single lineup simulator for Thursday, for Thanksgiving. It's just, there's a little something extra when we're building out these lineups. And I like the start we're getting out of Loughy. Just absolute Bengals attack. Burrow, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase. We're just chasing all over the place. Mike Gesicki is here. We bring it back with Derrick Henry. Love the start. Sizable ownership on the main position skill player dudes, but Burrow, limited from an ownership perspective. Gesicki, nothing crazy either. We have $19,100 remaining. Loughy wants us to use 15% randomness. I gotta admit, I'm a little nervous about some of the names we're going to see here, but I think we're going to be okay. And I think this start, the Bengals onslaught, might be my favorite spot of the week. So this is what we got after clicking complete this lineup. These are the best plays we were able to get with a little bit of randomness on top. CeeDee Lamb goes in at 6,900. Romeo Doubs goes in at 4,600. Travis Kelce goes in at 5K. Those guys are pulling some ownership. But then we get Cowboys D, $2,400. We leave $200 on the table. 134 projection, 262 ownership. This is going to be our comparison point. Where do we start? I like this one. Okay, that one seems really ominous. 66.6 sim ROI. I might have to go play the lottery. Market the devil here. 0.2% chance to win, 35% cash rate. I either love this lineup or think that it's haunted. Not entirely sure. I'm hoping that we build two better lineups than this one after it so that I can make a slight tweak and not get this 666 bad vibes mojo for this. I would have preferred this one for Halloween.
Perfect lineup number 2. You know, we give away a week or a month of The Sims every time we do this video, okay? But if you haven't been a lucky recipient of this, if your guesses have not been great thus far, heading into week 13 of the season, well, we got something for you regardless. Take 50% off any week of The Sims, of any sport, max or core, with that link in the description. Gravy is the promo code for 50% off any weekly Sims package, max or core. Look, we don't usually run these type of offers, but when it comes to Thanksgiving and Black Friday, we always have something good for you guys, and this is the one we've got this year. So if you've wanted to jump in on the single lineup Sims, you want to check out the Sims themselves, the late swap tool, the post-contest Sims, the best projections and ownership in the industry, the boom bust tool, top stack, you name it, all of that is included in every single package. Take 50% off with that link down below. Happy Thanksgiving. Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes here. Now, I ran the actual Sims. I cheated a little bit just to see what we were getting as far as exposure goes. And what I found was actually a little bit surprising. We were getting a ton of Patrick Mahomes stacks, but we were getting far less three-mans. Only 3% when I favored 150 lineups. Now, understandably, we're talking about maybe smaller contests here, but I think this applies across the full spectrum on a short slate like this. Because if a game shoots out and goes nuts, you're going to need pieces of it, and sometimes a lot. Patrick Mahomes double stacks, we were getting a ton of. So that's what we're going to run here and see how it sims out. Patrick Mahomes with Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. Let's keep it simple. Now, I do think on a slate like this, if you wanted to take a shot on Xavier Worthy, maybe he finally comes through for us, that would be fantastic. No one would be more thrilled than myself. And I'll probably shoehorn him into some lineups one way or the other against the Cowboys defense that looked better of late with the addition of Quinnen Williams, getting Overshown back on defense and just kind of gelling. But you know what? This is a Chiefs offense that when they are firing on all cylinders, you're going to want more than just one or two pieces. But for this video, we'll go with Rice. We'll go with Kelce. We'll run Lamb as the run back at 6,900. He's dropped below 7K. He is now cheaper than his teammate, George Pickens. And I actually think CeeDee Lamb has a little bit of a better matchup in this spot. To round this out for the core, I want to plug Jameson Williams in. Not because there's any correlation here, but because he is sub 5K. And he is your prototypical zero or hero type of player. On a 3-game slate, are you telling me we're not going to get to some pieces of Jameson Williams when this guy could go for a literal zero like he did last week? Or he could end up giving you, 5 for 120 and 2 scores in this home spot with a 49-point total against a good Packers defense, but still at home in the Dome. Big game for them after losing in week 1 to the Packers. I think revenge is on Dan Campbell's mind, and we're getting J-Mo at a very cheap price point.
Very different start for lineup number 2. Mahomes goes in, Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, who we just saw in the previous lineup. Fine with this start. Mahomes is 30% owned, so we're taking on quite a bit more ownership here than we were for the first lineup. But the difference here, now that we also have Jameson Williams and CeeDee Lamb, the difference here is that we have not picked a running back yet. While that we had 2 of them in the previous lineup, now I'm expecting to see some very different names because we have 19,300 left. We need 2 running backs, a flex, and a defense. This build should look entirely different than what we saw before, and we're running out 10% randomness. Let's just hope this isn't 666. And as expected, this one looks very different. Josh Jacobs, Javonte Williams, Mark Andrews, and Packers D. We spend the entire bag. We end up going up basically 1 fantasy point, but we also went up about 4 or 5% in ownership. I expect this one to look pretty similar to what we saw before. However, my guess is that this one is below the first lineup. I want it to be higher. Let's see what we get from a good vibes perspective. Let's click Run Lineup Simulation to find out. And by the way, while this is going on, don't forget, link in the description, promo code GRAVY, 50% off exactly what you see me doing. If you want to use this single lineup simulator or the rest of our sims, all you got to do is sign up using the link below. Couldn't get any easier for you for Thanksgiving. And I'm giving you the 97% sim ROI lineup, 0.3% chance to win, 37.5% cash rate. On the surface, it looked like this was going to be better. I felt confident, and we added an extra, 30% of sim ROI? Nailed it, Loughy. Nailed it. But you got to stick the landing. What do you got?
And finally, the third and final, well, not final for this video. I already put together a exclusive perfect lineup that lives only on tails. Most of you guys are there already, but if you're not and you want our free DFS content, or the free lineups that we post up there, all of the free bets from myself, I got a great same game parlay that ties into the same lineup I'm going to be putting up there, and all of Josh's free content, mine, everybody else, no credit card required. All you do is use the link or download the Tails app, create a free account, and tail all of your favorite bettors. Now, of course, the best thing about that when it comes to sports betting is you can click tail and auto load it into your sports book. If it's a 6-leg parlay, you don't have to manually insert them from the book. No, you don't have to transcribe them. No, you click tail and it adds them straight into your sports book. As far as the DFS lineups are concerned, this tails exclusive one I built, when I tell you this will be different, I know it's going to be different, and I kind of love it heading into this Thanksgiving slate. So check that out. Hit the flame emoji to let me know how you think about it, and we'll get on to this final one right now. Oh, and how could I forget? Because it's the giving season, I've decided to give away 3 months of NFL Sims Max over on Tails as well. All you got to do is hit the flame emoji on that post and keep your eyes open in the comments under that same post the next morning to see if I call your name. If so, email support@stokastic.com. And look at that. You've got Sims all the way through Christmas. It is a Lamar Jackson lineup. It is a Lamar Jackson build, and it is a Lamar Jackson Baltimore-Cincinnati game stack. And I think when Josh runs it in the Sims, it may be even more heavy-handed than I'm making it right now. We're going Lamar. We're pairing him with Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. Could Derrick Henry show up here? Maybe, honestly. And we're going to run it back with Jamar Chase and Mike Gesicki. I think Gesicki in his second game back, albeit on a short week, not too worried about that. Full practice participant, played plenty of snaps. No reported setbacks here. He's better than Noah Fant. Joe Burrow has targeted him at times a lot when one of the two elite wide receivers, either Chase or Higgins in the past, has been out. We saw some big games for Gesicki last year, in this exact same scenario. I like him and the Jamar Chase spot. Really hard to get away from that. Look, am I okay with fading Chase in some lineups? Yes. Do I really like him in Lamar Jackson builds? Yeah. Do I love him in Joe Burrow builds and find it really tough not to play him if you have Joe Burrow at quarterback? Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, man. Last year, the two highest owned players at their position were CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver and Jahmyr Gibbs at running back. CeeDee Lamb finished with under 6 fantasy points. Gibbs finished with 12. If you didn't have those guys, it helped you. But Jamar Chase in this type of scenario with these specific builds, I just have a tough time getting away from him with the absolute insane amount of talent this guy has and no T. Higgins on the other side. So we go Lamar, Jamar, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and Gesicki. And I would not be surprised if this ends up being a full-out Baltimore-Cincinnati game stack with a 51.5 point total to close out the Thanksgiving slate. Hey, turning it over to Josh, but happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. Remember, 50% off any weekly package down below, and we'll see you back here for the next one.
Loughy's really hitting us with some great starts. This is the perfect way to get yourselves ready for this Thanksgiving slate, because now we're going to Lamar. We've got Zay Flowers. We've got Mark Andrews. We're bringing back Chase and Gesicki. Interested to see if we end up getting Chase Brown into one of these running back spots. 22,400 remaining. We need running back, wideout defense. 5% randomness here. There's a path where we shave enough ownership and maintain projection that this will be the best. I think the discount in ownership for Lamar Jackson in comparison to what we saw before with Pat Mahomes, I think that's going to be the differentiator here. But there's only one way to find out. I'll click complete this lineup, and we'll see what we get. We get Derrick Henry, we get Josh Jacobs, we get Romeo Doubs, we get Ravens D. Admittedly, Ravens D scares me a little bit with the dueling Bengals on the opposite side, but I like the onslaught of Baltimore Ravens that we have. I like cornering the market on this late game. 134 and change projection, 270 ownership. We are up from lineup number 2 by 0.02 of a point. We went up another 4 percentage points in ownership. I see no reason this lineup isn't once again a powerful sim ROI somewhere in that 60 to 90 range. But we left 700 on the table, and that might be the issue. 21% sim ROI, just a 0.1% chance to win. Give me a sec to see if I can make this better. Just a small tweak. I swapped into the Chiefs defense. We don't have any Dallas pieces here, and I think that creates a little bit better of an environment. Let's see if that makes any real difference. We're still leaving 900 on the table, so at least we're unique. I'll click Run Lineup Simulation, and we will close it out. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys have an incredible Thanksgiving. We didn't close it out with lineup number 3 knocking it out of the park, but lineup number 2 certainly did it. You're going to find a ton of good gems here thanks to Loughy, and if you want the Sims, you know how to get them. The link is in the description. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Find a perfect lineup. I can't believe 5 of you crazies were able to get an 11-point victory correct in the comments, but you did it anyway, so I'm spinning the wheel. One of the 5 of you are going to win. So if you see your name pop up as the winner, take a screenshot when you do. Email support@stokastic.com because Lost Border, you are the winner. Do what I just said. Send that email and claim your free week.